Welcome back, guys. This is episode 11 of All Stars 7, and the queens come into the workroom after RuPaul tells them that there's no more blocks in the competition.
What I'm also thinking about is how All Stars rules have been suspended and now no one's blocked anymore. But we have one challenge left, so chances are I probably still won't get to the finale.
Bitch, this is Drag Race, and there's no telling what can happen in this competition. I feel like maybe there is still a chance for you to get top 4.
It's not like you've just been, gutter Shay. Like, you've been amazing.
They're all sitting on the couch, still in drag, and Shay kind of feels defeated, or at least she seems a little bit. She's like, there's no possible way that I can get into the final, be in the top 4, and it's kind of sad to see Shay like that, but she's right. I mean, she's listening to her gut. She knows numbers matter, and if I was in her position, I would feel kind of like I'm not even gonna make it to the top 4. Jada tries to comfort her. She's like, you never know what can happen. This is RuPaul's Drag Race All Stars. Like, she's the queen of twists. And I'm like, Jada's right. So Shay shouldn't worry. So the queens decide to get out of drag. And it's the next day in the workroom. RuPaul comes in and she announces that this week's challenge has not 1 star, but 3 stars that the All Stars can win for themselves. Instead of like giving one away like last time, all 3 stars are for them. So that Shay literally has 1 star. That literally gives her 4 stars, and that can give her a spot in the top 4. I would like to see Shay do that, because she should have gotten a little more high placements in some of the other episodes, in my opinion. Everyone gasped. Everyone was like, and Shay, like, literally had her game face on immediately as that was announced. Like, I'm gonna kill this. This week's episode is the Queen's Give Back variety show, and whichever charity the queen picks, the winner will get a $3,000 donation. With the top 4, they have this Tic Tac lunch, usually, and it's just RuPaul trying to see what the queen's more about and what she would want to do with her reign. Instead, this time she gets to talk to 8 queens, which is very fun and interesting. First, she talked to Trinity. RuPaul asked Trinity what would it mean to win this competition. She said it would mean the world to be queen of all winners. And the charity she picked was Planned Parenthood. Trinity is from Alabama, which is a pretty country. I don't know how to say this. I'm not trying to be mean. I live in a very farm town, I guess. I'm proud of where I come from and who I am, because there might be a little kid out there that sees Trinity and thinks, if he can do it, I can too, and be a little bit prouder of themselves. And that's a great message, and that's really sweet. For the Vivienne's Tic Tac lunch, Michelle asked her, did you find it a little tougher competing in America? And she said, yeah, I think artists always have a little self-doubt. It's healthy, but she kind of found her stride later in the competition, not the first 2 or 3 weeks. The Queen's choice of charity, the Trans Lifeline. She kikied with RuPaul and Michelle, but the charity she chose was Color of Change, which mainly focus on systemic change, which is like workplace racism or in school, anywhere like that. They just try to make you feel more comfortable in places. Evie Oddly was next for the Tic Tac lunch, and the charity that she would want to give back to is the National Coalition Against Domestic Violence. And RuPaul asked her immediately if that was like dear to her and her family, like if she had been in that or anything like that, and she had opened up to her that she had watched her mom get abused, and himself would try to get in between it just to try to, I guess, like help his mom and like not have her take so much of the abuse. And it's very telling of how good Evie is. She is a very loving soul, and she stood in front of that man. I don't think it was her dad. I don't believe that they're together. His mom and dad. I don't know, really. He didn't get into too much detail, but either way, it's heartbreaking to have to deal with that as a kid. She also gets really vulnerable about her condition and how her joints and stuff are not really allowing her to do dance moves and drag like she used to. She says she can barely stand up in high heels anymore. Like, and she like is laughing and crying about it. Like, she's like, it's ridiculous, but I can't even stand up in high heels. Like, it just is, I'm in so much pain. And like, heels hurt enough on their own. Like, with that on top of it, I couldn't even imagine. So I'm glad Evie can still find happiness in other ways to do drag, not always in high heels. And she doesn't always have to be flippant and shit. I will always go and see an Evie Oddly show just because of who she is. Her face and her personality can sell it. Shay's charity that she was giving back to is the Period Poverty Project, which they shouldn't be missing out on their education because they have to buy a tampon or a pad. Honestly. Tampons and pads should be free in women's restrooms. It should be like toilet paper. They should supply that, especially in schools. Which I know in the nurse's office, if you go, you can get one. But the Period Poverty Project also aims to just destigmatize any talk about periods. So during Raja's Tic Tac lunch, her charity that she wanted to give to is National Center for Trans Equality. And she elaborated that she had learned drag from many trans women and wanted to give back to them. And that's very sweet. There's truth in every joke. I'll never want to do this again. And then she like started laughing really hard. Jink's charity was Black Visions Collective. Black trans women and queer people are the highest target. The statistics and shit that they say for not living past 30 because of like attacks and harassment, that is very scary, and that is a very real thing happening still, and we need to talk about this, and this is why we have pride parades. It's important for us to be visible, and it's important for them to live their truth. And Jada's charity was Free Black Therapy, and she opened up and she said that she knew a lot of people in her family that have like had issues or just because of communication and no one to like mediate in between, and so she wanted to put this in the forefront for people. Okay, RuPaul comes out and introduces the guest judges and Michelle and all that. She has on this red and white outfit and the white wig. Oh, I love this outfit. I love this look. She killed it. The white highlight under the eye.
Jada Talk.
I was born southern by the good grace of God, where I learned to say y'all on how to sharpen my claws. Word saying bless your heart means damn you're stupid. Hair every Monday, nails every Tuesday. Nothing cures a hangover like church on a Sunday. Gone with the wind, Scarlet, Devereaux Harlot. Southern hospitality, come and get it, yeah, it comes so naturally. I can make your South rise, that's a guarantee.
Trinity did this country pop dance song. She had really good dancing, but the lyrics were kind of iffy, and the Southern hospitality got old. We just had a country song on All Stars 6, so I think that's kind of boring right now.
Like baby, I made it. Half these hoes are feeling it's a trip. You can tell by the lips, I'm the only real bitch. My style unique cause I conceive it and create it. Yep, wanna hear the punchline? Call from Rupaul to come and flip the damn table. Evie so
Okay, Evie came out and she had this backup dancer pull this suitcase, and everyone thought that the dancer was her. And she popped out of the suitcase and she put the hat on, and it was like the role reverse. It was everything. I loved it. She came out and rapped her ass off. Like, she has a drag trap album, I believe it's called, Drag Trap, and it's really good. I've listened to a couple songs off of it. Recommend.
Ciao. I ain't even got time to be playing with y'all. It's Jada Essence Hall and I'm coming for the win. I did it once before. I want a crown on Zoom from my living room. Get me in the ring and I'll show you what I do. Started with some fussy, now it's time to add some saucy. Don't bet against me cause that price will be too costly. I'm the trade of the season. I'm a bitch for the bitches, okay? What that look over there? Won't you just look over there?
Jada has some of the best lyrics I've heard in a really long time. the rap and the outfit. She had a lot of callbacks to her original season. She was so funny. It had Jeff Goldblum on the back. Look over there. I love that. She's so funny.
I was so young, I was naive. Oh, it's me, yes, it's me. Hey, ladies, you better not sleep on me.
Jinx was live singing. She had a backup track, obviously, but it was so good. It was Broadway, it was theater. She was like holding a note and then she was like, ooh, ah, ooh, and like deep throated the microphone and like still held the note and brought it out. Ooh, ah. Like it was amazing. She's so funny. She's comedy. She's glamorous. It's great.
All that I'm thinking about is how to get closer to you. Want to feel your body move. We got the time to waste, so let's go. Each minute slipping by, I want you more. When it's done, I want to know, will you take me home? Go round and round, can feel my heart pounding, pounding, pounding.
Shay came out in this Janet Jackson vibe. Oh my god, the microphone, she was killing it. She gave it everything she had. She hit every dance move. Like, oh my god, I can't do it in this dress, but it was like, oh my god, Shay. Shay killed it this week. I knew she would kill this talent challenge. She always kills the talent show, variety show, whatever it is that she's doing. Raja did this Eastern Asian dance that is supposedly an androgynous, which a male or a female can do. And she has a really beautiful story about how her dad lost her at the airport and when she was 3, and all he remembers is like looking for him, and then he finally finds him and he was doing this dance on top of suitcases for everybody. And like, that's just a really sweet story. I don't know why, like, he lost him, but like, just the things that you remember of your kids and your dad after your dad's passed. It's really sweet.
The best you've ever had, the worst you've ever seen. I'm a little extreme. Gotta take the sweet with the bitter. You never know, so don't place your bet. You never know which me you get. When you get my love, baby, you'll love the way it feels. But get me at the wrong time, and I'm a bitch on heels. And I'm a bitch on heels the right time.
The Vivian is singing live. It is stunning. She has a backup track too. I'm a bitch on heels. Ew, I can't sing. I'm sorry that you had to hear that.
In quei lieti in cui saresti tranquillo di passai della prima gioventù io vi trovai cavai ma quelli non trovo più non trovo più.
Monet came out and she was standing at that podium or whatever it was. There was fog everywhere on the floor. And I was like, okay, what is she gonna do? And RuPaul was like, Monet, she puts the bass in blah, 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 or whatever she said. And I was like, okay, what is she about to do? Like, dance? What is she gonna do? And oh my god, she opened her mouth and it was like, yeah. She started singing opera. It was so deep. She, like, the contrast of like her beauty, like the feminine beauty and the deep vocal tone, and she was singing that in a corset. She had so much control over her air and her breathing in that moment. It was so beautiful. She was so beautiful. I had chills from like head to toe. No surprise, this week's top 2 was Shea Coulee and Monet Exchange. So they both get 3 stars each. And this is before they even lip sync. Shea has 4 now, since she had 1 previously. And Monet had 2, and now she has 5. So RuPaul is like, there is a tie. The qualifications for the top 4, blah, 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 blah. And she basically says Trinity and Jada Essence Hall are tied for the 4th spot. And that Monet, since she has 5 stars and Shea has 4, that she gets to choose who gets to stay in the competition to win the crown and the prize money. Since she's been loyal to her twinner all season, she picks Trinity the Tuck. And I saw it coming, to be completely honest. But I really kind of wish she had Jada, because I was hoping for Jada and Jinx. So now I'm hoping for Jinx to win. Or Monet, I guess. Monet. I could see Monet winning now. The lip sync song this week is Supernova by Kylie. And honestly, they had this song on UK versus the World, but Shea and Monet did it way better, to be completely honest. Shea wins the lip sync. The Period Poverty Project gets $30,000, which is so generous. And RuPaul announces that each of the other charities gets $10,000 each on their own. And this is when we think that Shea, Monet, Jinx, and Trinity are gonna go on to the next episode to lip sync for the crown and $200,000. But it is revealed that the other 4 are not going home yet, and that they are still competing for $50,000 themselves. And the queen of She Already Done had hers. And I like this, because we still get to keep them, and it doesn't make anyone like sad or like beat anyone down. I've heard a lot of people say that they didn't like this episode because it kind of made the whole season pointless. But I just see it as, like, this whole season has been even playing field. They just give it a chance for anyone this week to kill it and give it to them. And this is a reality TV show. There's gonna be a little bit of production in it. So you can't be mad at it. I'm so happy we get to see these queens on our screens for another week. I'm so excited to see who wins next week. Please like and subscribe. There is no runway this week. I'm so sorry. I would have loved to talk about a runway.